I got it.
And that's cool. Usually when you get the most props too, because the director, to begin with, he's not expecting you to find that ball, but when you do find that ball, he's like, "Oh, great job!" That's when
he's like, "Yes,
exactly." And then you see where it lands, and you can kind of tell a story from there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, definitely.
I honestly don't think I can tell you about that feeling, but you guys definitely can. This is where we celebrate the unsung heroes, the champions behind the screens who make the magic happen. Every other week, we kick back, grab a beer, and sit down with some of the most distinguished professionals in the industry, giving you a new appreciation for the media you enjoy. This is the Behind the Broadcast podcast. What is up, BTB crew and broadcast enthusiasts? My name is Parker Rattan, and I'm the founder and owner of Behind the Broadcast. I'm also a broadcast professional. Now, when I had this idea of this platform, I always wanted to share the behind the scenes of what goes on in broadcast, but now we're diving a little bit deeper. We are interviewing some of the people that work in the industry. But before we get into things, I want to thank our sponsors. All the graphics you see here are powered by VizRT. VizRT, take your production to the next level with the right tools. TVU, elevate every stage of your media supply chain. Holly Video, specializing in remote solutions and live stream kits. Last but not least, Garage Beer. Garage Beer. It's beer, flavored beer. All right. So usually I introduce our guests here, but this is kind of a special thing. This episode, we lost a friend about a year ago named Max, and Max is kind of the reason why this group of friends here all got together. And I want to dedicate this episode to Max if you're looking down on us. So thank you, Max, for bringing this together. Probably without you, Behind the Broadcast doesn't happen. So, all right. So, like I said, I have my friends here. These are my golf boys. We work together. We started working together like 6 years ago in golf during COVID. And just a lot of different weird moments in life kind of brought us all together. So usually I announce or I introduce the people. I'm just going to let them introduce themselves. So we'll start with Yancey. Yancey, what is your name? What is your position? And how many years you've been in the industry?
My name is Yancey Beard. I'm a camera operator now for NBC Sports, freelance for everything else, ESPN, Fox, CBS. Uh-huh. Been in the industry for, I think this is my 6th full year completely. Uh-huh. And yeah, absolutely love it.
Cool, man. I'm so glad to have you on the show. Tyler, just say a little about, how long you've been in the industry and what you do as well.
I've been doing this for about 12 years now. Started when I was 18. I'm a camera guy for NBC mostly, but I hop around with CBS a little bit, do freelance here and there for everything else. Mostly golf stuff, but happy to indulge in other things too.
Yeah, like I said, you guys are my golf dudes. We are actually currently at the Players Championship. The theme of this show is beers after work, and this is truly beers after work. These guys just got done shooting golf for the last 10 hours of the day. They came here on the show because they're awesome friends and supporters of Behind the Broadcast. So I appreciate you guys jumping on this podcast with me. Let's just kind of begin like how you guys started. I know you guys have kind of interesting ways into the industry, and there's no wrong way to get into the industry. Just once you're in the industry, you make the best of it, right? And both you guys happen to be children of parents that were already in the industry. So, Yancey, I'm going to start with you, man. Your dad is an absolute stud. We don't have to go into what his title is, but he was a great camera operator for many years, and now he's, leading a lot of the PGA stuff and things like that. But, kind of tell me, what it was like getting into the industry, having a dad with kind of like some higher power.
Well, yeah, when I first started, actually, he still had like a year left of him doing camera. Like he was still operating camera still.
Oh, yeah?
So when I really got into it, our buddy, Pickle, obviously, one of his old friends, an audio guy, he asked me to be part of an audio crew one time, and I didn't even know anything about it. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what would happen. And it would be Players this week. Uh-huh. We're at Players.
Oh, wow.
So this is my first tournament is this week.
Oh, wow.
So I was here for spring break when I was like 17 or 16, 17. He knew I was going to be here. Asked me to do the tournament. I ended up working audio with them, laying out microphones on the green, doing whatever. First time ever doing it, seeing it, and thought it was amazing. And the same thing happened the next year. I was like, he asked me to do it, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll do this.
Yeah.
And then I asked the main mixer, I was like, hey, I love this stuff. I fall like, how can I get out here? How can I do this?
That's awesome. And it kind of sounds like, you kind of made it happen for yourself. I mean, maybe your dad was in the background a little bit pushing things, but I mean, it was you in the end of the day that like impressed people and made them, kind of want to try and help you.
Oh yeah.
Like it wasn't like, okay, this is so-and-so's son, let's just get him on.
Oh yeah. My dad didn't even want to get me in the business.
Yeah.
He's like, he knows how it is. It's rough out here. We do what we do. And he was like, yeah, I don't know if I really want you to do
Dude,
this.
I'm really glad you just brought that up because, one day I think I'll be a father one day and things like that. Just as a son growing up with a dad that was always on the road, you don't have to go into deep into it, but like, what was that kind of like? How often did you see your dad? Was he able to be at a lot of things you were at?
Yeah, that was a little different. Played hockey growing up, obviously, but like a couple of the guys that we know now that work out here would take me to hockey practice. Bob Stilling would take me to hockey practice. A couple other guys would take me to hockey practice because my dad would be on the road, miss birthdays, Christmas and stuff. So that's hard, but you get used to it. You see how it goes, and you kind of learn from it being over the years. Even not even knowing the industry, you get to know it from being outside of it.
Cool. Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm glad you just shared that. Now, Tyler, again, it wasn't your dad, but it was your mom who was in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
What does your mom do, and how was that kind of for you breaking in?
So she's an associate director forever, and then she stage manages too.
Yeah.
And so when I was 18, I was in college. I needed some, beer money or whatever here or there, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And so I was like, Mom,
we all need beer money.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you think I can get a job as a runner down at working Phillies games or Eagles games or something like that?
Yeah.
So I was lucky enough for her to get me in there as a few jobs as a runner, and she was like, all right, this is as far as I go with you. Like, you're on your own now.
Yeah.
So then, just ask a bunch of questions, work a bunch, eventually learn how to do utility stuff.
Yeah.
Do that for forever.
And that was kind of your bread and butter was utility, and your bread and butter was audio.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
So yeah, like everyone gets it. Like I said, everyone gets in the industry in different ways. Like I came through the college way. It's just and there's no right way, but like clearly I'm in my position today, you're in your position, and they're all, I would consider, successful jobs. Like people really look up to like what you guys do. And we're going to talk a lot more about being golf camera operators, later on in the show, but it's just really interesting that, that's just kind of how things develop and go out. So yeah, so you said, Ty, you were a utility. What shows were you doing? Obviously you have a twin brother, right?
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan.
So do you think being a twin like helped you kind of in the industry? Because if you had to call out of a job, maybe Ryan filled in for you or anything like that?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess it's helpful in the sense that like you kind of always have a backup, like if he's not working a show, but most times we work the same shows, and I'd say it kind of helps in other ways, or maybe it hurts sometimes too, because like say like we mess up something, like they remember both of us, but I guess it goes the other way too. Like we do a good job, they're like, oh yeah, Ryan and Tyler, they did a good job on that show.
Yeah, true. True.
There's also people in the industry that don't even realize that there's two of you.
Yeah,
and you could be working in the same show, and they're like, "Wow, good job, Ryan." And it's like, "I'm Tyler, and you've never even met me before."
Really?
Yeah.
Does it ever happen like where like someone like comes up to you and they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, like, that was so fun that we did like last year on that show," and you're like, that wasn't me. That was probably my brother.
The thing is, we've gone past that point. Like, I don't even correct people anymore. I just like take a mental note of the conversation and go along with it, and then I tell like my brother about the conversation. I'm like, yeah, by the way, I had this conversation on your behalf.
And he does the same for you.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. That's really funny. So Ty, we're talking about you being a utility. You had one of Behind the Broadcast first viral videos. And it was you wrapping cable.
At the Players. That was
at the Players.
Like,
it all, I'm telling you, man, it all comes back to the Players.
Yeah.
So who taught you how to wrap cable like that?
Man, I just had a lot of help along the way. Like when I was a runner, like I had some, like senior, like utility or like fiber tech guy just throw an extension cord out on the ground. It was like, all right, here's how you do it. And then like, when I wasn't doing runner things, I would just sit there and coil an extension cord, and then it's just repetition, just like anything else.
Dude, that is a great tip right there. If you're listening, guys, like pick up a water hose, pick up an extension cord.
Yeah, garden hose at your house for sure,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
just throw it together.
Yeah, and over under it, man. Like, if you can learn how to over under in this industry, that is like 60% of being a utility.
Yeah, I mean that's a great way to break in. It's like just even knowing how to over under. It's like you don't realize how many people come out here that don't even know how to do that. And
Yeah,
somehow find their way out here.
No, that is so true. So Ty was utility. Yancey as an A2 dude, like you're pretty young. What are people like? How do people treat you at like such a young age as an A2? Because A2 is like it takes a little bit of time to become an A2.
Yeah, it was a little bit different, but they trusted me for sure off the bat with a couple of things. They threw me right in the fire. I learned what I did right away, but being out there and what we do for golf, them being an A2,
Yeah.
people don't realize that A2s they set up microphones, they set up the greens, they set up what hydras, they do whatever. But we go set up our microphones in the morning. We do 6 or 7 microphones, a green for 4 greens. You go rest for 30 minutes, and then you go walk as I'm walking parab the entire 18 holes. Or if you're at a Ryder Cup, you're walking 36 holes a day.
Oh yeah.
And people don't even realize
That's
that
a good
side of it. It's crazy.
No one
You
realizes
double
that.
dip.
Dude,
Yeah.
audio for sure. Cameraman, obviously, camera operators, obviously, carrying around a camera all day will get a lot of steps. But audio probably does the most steps in golf.
Oh, it's absurd. Yes, yeah. We have multiple cameras that can cut different angles, but there's one audio guy in the fairway, and he's running. If there's 3 people golfing in the fairway, he's running from this person to this person to this person, and he is the entire sound for everybody. So if they want to hear somebody here and the other guy's 200 yards in front of him, he's sprinting by himself, and he's gone.
Yeah, no, that is a great point. Cool. So that was kind of like your guys' introduction in, and then when I met you guys, it was during COVID, right? It was the U.S. Open in New York City. Because did they move the tournament to New York, or was it always there?
No, I had been.
It was always supposed to be.
It was always supposed to be at Winged Foot.
Oh, Winged Foot? Yeah, that's where it was, Winged Foot. Yeah. And none of us knew each other.
No.
But I knew Max.
I think I had met you like somewhat the 2 years beforehand, just in passing at the Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it was in Houston?
Yeah, I think so.
Or
maybe Minnesota.
Minnesota, maybe too.
Yeah, Minnesota. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody knew it because you didn't. I didn't know Tyler. I just knew his brother, and I didn't know you.
Yeah.
But I know Max. Obviously, and you were his utility that week.
Yeah, I knew
so
Max.
then we all came together.
Yeah. No, and it was such a cool group, man. And that's really what I want to talk about here. And that's why I brought that up, is because, I was a lone wolf at the time. I had no friends in golf. I had just gotten a great opportunity to come work golf, because golf is a very desired sport in broadcast to work. Like, there's a reason why it's kind of hard to get into golf, because once people get in golf, they don't leave.
You're
Yeah,
never leaving. You're never getting out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
There's only one way out.
Oh yeah.
There's only one way out. That's a good way to put it.
Yes. Yeah.
And some people will find that way out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
But, it's because you travel to such beautiful places. You're always like, it's always nice weather, and it's a lot of days of work. So you can actually make a reasonable wage.
Exactly.
in golf.
Yeah. Not to mention, exactly. You travel Monday, you leave Monday. You're there for a full week, especially the guys that do early setup and run fiber and stuff. They're there early Thursday, and then go all the way through the next Monday.
Yeah.
You're a camera guy, you come in Tuesday, but you still get 5 days of work. It's different than going to like an NBA game. You set up Saturday night, strike Sunday morning. Like, it's kind of, it's a lot, but it's really beneficial for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, you can end up like, for even just a spring swing, or starting in Mexico, I guess you can end up working 7 weeks straight without a single day off.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, like, you just go back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Like, and you just keep going.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why people never leave. But what I was kind of getting at was, I got a very lucky opportunity to get into golf, and I was a lone wolf, and you guys were kind of just moving from Fox. The golf contract moved from Fox Golf to NBC Golf, I think. And so there was a lot of new Fox people. There was you and Max kind of doing your thing with Kyle.
Yep.
And dude, and then we just all clicked. We're all like, man, like, you're my age. Looks like you want to be out here. It looks like you want to like learn. It looks like you want to grow and progress. And we all just kind of kicked it off. And it was the beginning to a fucking great friendship.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the kind of this industry is too. When you get to be in different areas, people, obviously they're more established and they're here for longer, but you see all the older camera guys and they're all hanging out together, and it's like, we're younger, we're not going to go hang out with them and chat. Like, we will go chat, but like, then you see a group of guys like us and we're all here together, and you kind of build levels of it. Like, if someone's our age, we're going to hang out with them. We're not going to go off and, do other things.
We're not going to hang out with the 60-year-old other guys. Because,
not to say we wouldn't, but, if we see someone, it's easier to get along with. Yeah, it's common interest, exactly. It's easier to hang out with people that do the same things as you.
Yeah.
In the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then we all clicked, and then all of a sudden, like, work became really fun. We were all
100%.
Utilities.
Yeah.
We were all
it was awesome.
Going out after work, having a great time, coming into work, and we were getting the jobs done too.
Oh, yeah.
It might, and this may be a biased opinion, it may be the best utility group that's gone through that NBC chain because we were all like in it together.
Yeah. And like, I
Exactly.
feel like a lot of us went into golf like already with like a lot of tenure and being utilities and doing that type of work
Yeah.
too. Whereas like maybe potentially nowadays that might not be the case, but it's just like different times.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, dude. And so my point is kind of like, if you're watching this right now and you're on a basketball crew or you're on a football crew or you're with your college friends, like, find people that you click with, because make work enjoyable.
Yes, yeah.
And I sometimes find myself falling out of that because I jump around so often, and it's hard for me to find clicks anymore because it's like, you're here, and you're with new people every day, which is great. I love meeting new people. It's great for the brand, but I miss that camaraderie you get with your friends.
Yeah, and just having like we had like a whole like crew, like that was a really fun time. Just like the same guys like every single week, like every day of the week.
Yeah.
For like a long time, and
Dude,
you get a really good thing going that way too.
Yeah, traveling to Philly, traveling to Florida, traveling to the Bahamas. Dude, like, we had a great time for a couple of years.
The Florida Swing's one of the best ones because we travel every Monday and we all go play golf, or we all go hang out at the beach, and we all have the day off. We're all together. And we're all like, let's go do something together. Let's go do this. Like, that's always cool.
Yeah,
to have that makes work fun, being everyone together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's about, man. Make work fun, because it can be a fucking grind.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, man. Seriously.
I mean, just tell me, you guys, how many days are you about to work, or have you already worked?
Too many to count, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I only.
No, I mean just this spring swing, really.
Wow.
I'm on week what? We're on week 5 right now.
I did the first 3, so I'm on week 8 almost. I
Yeah.
skipped one last week. So yeah, we've been. If you start at the beginning of the spring, like some of these guys do, and they go, if you could almost work 14 weeks nonstop from January to April.
Right.
It's absurd.
Right. All right. So I mentioned, our friend group and how great it was. But what I haven't mentioned is when we all met up together, it was during COVID. Can you guys just kind of like give the audience or whoever, the listeners, an idea of what golf in COVID was like?
Oof. Well, I remember the first week of golf and COVID. Actually, it was here at Players again, once again.
Yeah, it was.
The Friday.
It just all circles back to
Yeah,
players.
all circles back to Players. It was we went out Thursday morning. I remember, and we got kind of like a notification that hey, like, COVID is kind of a thing.
I don't know what he's about to say.
I'm saying Becky went out and shot a 61
Oh,
or a 62.
All right.
out of one shot.
Thanks, Burl.
Thanks,
And
Burl.
they canceled the tournament.
Sick.
All right.
All right, so that's from our background audience here. We actually have a
great.
live audience for this episode.
Great. Thanks for chiming in.
He's our live audience. He's our camera operator, and he's our
Stats.
utility.
Apparently, he's got research going too.
Yeah. We got analytics as well.
Thank you, Matt Burl.
Thank you, Matt Burl. All right. So I was saying, before I got rudely interrupted, we went out Thursday morning, I believe, and we got the notification that, hey, COVID is in the United States, and some places are shutting down, businesses are shutting down, sports are shutting down, basketball went down, and literally the next morning, we were like, what's happening? Words started circling around the compound, and then before we went on air, like, hey, we're done. We're not going on air today. We'll be done for at least 2 weeks. Sorry, guys, blah, 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 blah. 2 weeks rolls by, 3 months rolls by.
Yeah.
Like, we get into COVID, and it was.
Damn. So when they shut it down, did you guys strike? Like, what was that like? Because it was like, you guys can't be anywhere around each other, but everyone's got to go back in the golf course for the next day or so.
And go grab all the
strike
fiber and
all
take
the
down
fiber.
take down all the cameras, all that stuff.
Dude,
It seemed like if we were outside, they were cool with it. But
Yeah.
it was kind of a weird thing. Yeah, everyone was sketchy about the COVID going around, and everyone was like, "Oh, we have to be 6 feet apart." But when we were out there striking, yeah, there was 0 people inside. There was no one out there. Sometimes you see like other like maintenance guys, lawn guys. There's no one out there. It was kind of a weird.
It was eerie.
Sure,
It was eerie. Tyler, do you remember anything that sticks out to you during COVID?
I mean, I guess the biggest thing, just like not fan, like when everything finally came back, like, you know, no fans out there, which I guess is where this kind of really all started too. Sports with no fans.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
So
you got the OG shirt.
I got the OG shirt on, SWNF, Sports with No Fans, because dude, golf with no fans.
Dude, it's kind of crazy.
It was really interesting.
Yeah.
I
mean, golf isn't a loud sport, like that loud of a sport to begin with. You know, bar a few, like 17 here.
Yeah.
And like the big holes and things like that. But or if you're with a big group, but even then, like with nobody out there, it's such a quiet game. Like it's crazy. Like you hear like maybe a golf clap or two from a volunteer or something, or. Do we even have volunteers out there?
I don't even.
I think not in the beginning.
It was like caddies, like
Nice
shot.
like,
Yeah.
you could do,
Like,
caddies. You could do just
nothing.
players out there, and I guess like one of the like small perks of it was like driving a golf cart around, for work, like so much easier with no fans out there. So there was like part of me that actually kind of liked it.
Yeah, no, it was a weird time, and it was, to your point, it was like kind of cool because you get around anywhere so fast. Like now we work these golf shows, and it's just thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that you have to sift through, and you can't get from one side to the other, and with and it's super difficult. But on the flip side of that was you were magnified. Everything was magnified on you because we were the only ones moving around on the golf course.
Yeah, totally. Sure. Like if you're like the clacky clack of a tripod moving around, like even like 50 yards behind a golfer, he's like, what are they doing back there?
They heard everything. If you were a golf cart driving like on the other side of the hole, they stopped and heard you, and they looked at you, and you're like, "I'm sorry, man, I didn't even see you," and you can hear us. You know?
Yeah, they're like 100 yards away. You're like, you're not even thinking about them, and you're like, oh man, I guess they can hear me.
Yeah, where now, like, if you're listening and you really don't know how golf works, like, there's hundreds of thousands of people all around you. So now we just kind of blend into the crowd, and no one hears us. But dude, back then it was like you had to be on your P's and Q's every which way you were looking.
Oh, and when we started to come out back on the live TV too, they realized that we were the only people in the fairway. So they give us all matching masks, and we'd have to wear green masks or blue masks or whatever color was that day. We'd have to match that mask for certain days, like at the Masters, the PGA Championship, stuff like that. Oh, it was ridiculous. But they know they're doing it. If we were the only people in the fairway, they're gonna match us all, make us look good. During COVID, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, golf with masks, that was just like a pain in the ass. Like walking around all day long, and you gotta have this mask on you.
It's just like drenched in sweat by the end of the day too. But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day. But I mean, like I mean, I get it. But
we did the Olympics in Tokyo with masks, and it was 113 degrees every day in the golf event with 110% humidity. I was ripping the mask off every 2 holes because it was just sweating through it. It was so bad.
Oh man, that is gnarly.
Yeah.
So that is like a great bunch of examples of what it was like to work golf during COVID, and it's where Sports with No Fans started. And if you're listening right now, Sports with No Fans was the idea behind the broadcast for me. When I created this platform, Sports with No Fans was a joke almost, like when I made it.
I remember when you came up to me, like, once again, I think it really might have been the players the following year.
No, it was
Philly.
Was it
It
Philly?
was Aronimink. Yeah,
Aronimink.
KPMG was in the back of the car at the rain delay. I remember it very well.
So I remember you're like, yo, I made a new Instagram. Like, you should check it out and follow it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, why not? This could be something cool.
Yeah.
And then that just kept growing and growing.
And Max was there too. And that's why I really credit Max and you guys to the whole creation of Behind the Broadcast, because you guys really empowered me and gave me some confidence behind it, because I was really nervous about it, and I was for a long time, but it was like your guys' support that like helped me like keep progressing with it little by little, because the whole idea with Sports with No Fans was, let's show the world or people on social media what is going on in these arenas, on these golf courses, during COVID because you guys don't have access to it. And
and the broadcast is not picking all of it up that's out there, you know? It's like you can show like even just like the behind the scenes stuff of like what it's really like, because, you know, nobody else really gets to experience it other than us.
Yeah, exactly.
And that idea came out when golf was kind of the first sport that came back during COVID because we were outside.
Yeah.
So we were allowed to be outside and stuff. And you came up with that idea and we were kind of like, you said it was a joke. We were like, yeah, it's kind of a joke because it was golf. But then all these other sports come back and you see basketball with shit in the stands and with people with fake
all the
cardboard
cardboard
cutouts. In the
cutouts.
stands.
Oh my God.
Stuff stuff like that was surreal, where you were really like, wow, there is nothing going on. There's nobody here. There's no fan. This is absurd.
Yeah.
So that's what the Sports with No Fans was a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Because people from all over were doing it. I mean, because everyone's experiencing the same thing. Everyone's experiencing COVID. That was really cool. Everyone was chiming into the same event.
It was giving people more things to look at during COVID, because COVID was just like such a bleak time where like there was nothing on TV other than the news that was just awful.
Yeah, it was just like all, you know, dread and fear and stuff like that.
Yeah, fear mongering, dread, like So, so when I started Sports No Fans, you know, obviously started at like 0 followers. You guys were like my first 5 followers, and then it grew to like 1,000, 2,000. I think once I got to about 2,500, that's when the fans came back, and I was like, people are telling me like, "Hey, dude, you can't be Sports No Fans anymore. The fans are back." And then so I was like thinking to myself like, "Man, what do I transition this to? I've got 2,500 followers. Like, I could make something of this." And that's when Behind the Broadcast happened. So credit to you guys, man, seriously, because without you guys, I guarantee you Behind the Broadcast would not be here today. I might even be out of like. No, I wouldn't be out of television, but I would just, I don't know what my passion would be. I might be in fucking real estate or something. I don't know.
Could you imagine?
I don't know, man. So I just, I appreciate you guys, doing all that.
That was really cool too. Like when you switched it over.
Yeah.
Like it was all Sports with No Fans. And then one of your first videos was Behind the Broadcast with the crank reels or in the basketball hoops. That was one of the first videos I ever seen, and that was sick because you don't really see that. You know, you don't see people operating cameras or doing audio or stuff and that was really one of the things that set it off.
Behind the Broadcast was the first platform or first social media to share that kind of footage, because
it's cool because people don't really know like how this stuff gets made out here. Like I tell people in my job, like random people all the time, and they're like, "Oh, I never really thought about like the people that actually do that." And I'm like, yeah, not many people actually do.
We're such unsung heroes in this industry.
Heroes is a strong word, but
true. In my own mind, we're heroes. All right, the garage beers are stacking up. I forgot what I was saying, but now the thought has come back, because we were talking about Behind the Broadcast and showing stuff like camera work behind the scenes and things like that, and it was never really seen before until we started sharing stuff, because for a long time, like, garage beer.
Garage beer.
For a long time, like phones, cameras, sharing stuff behind the scenes, it was so voodoo. And then like
that was like a big no-no for like a long time. Like that's like when you first start working there, like don't have your phone out there.
You couldn't even have your phone out.
Like don't even be texting out there like that. Like and not just golf or anything. Like I got that from working baseball, working football,
NFL,
like sidelines, anything. They're like
100%. But now you walk around, you look at it, you're like, all right, that person's on their phone, that person's on their phone, that person's on their phone. And I'm not saying it's okay. It's really not. Like, you should be on your phone, or you should not be on your phone 90% of the time at work. If you're going to pull up your phone, you look at a text message or something, or, you're not working, you're not like in the act of working and you want to take a picture of the stadium or a camera or whatever it is, I don't really care about that. But you should not actively be on your phone during a work setting.
Never. Not once.
Yeah.
If you're on your phone, you're doing something wrong. If you're not doing something at work, you're doing something wrong. Is what I kind of say. If you're not keeping yourself busy,
I mean,
you can't just be sitting around on your phone looking around.
Not that there's always something to do. Like, we all work in television. There's downtime here and there.
Yes.
But that's when you do it. Not when you're live on air. You actually have a task that needs to be get done.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally. And that's like something I try to like tell people. I really want that message to get across to like the followers of Behind the Broadcast and the people getting into the industry and the people listening to this episode is like, know your moments.
Yes, yeah.
Understand your moments,
100%.
understand your boundaries. There's right times to do it and there's wrong times to do it.
100%. Well, one of the big things with that is a hurry up and wait. Everybody knows that in the TV industry, and if you don't know it, it's you hurry up to get there, you hang around, you wait to do your things, and sometimes we sit around for 3 or 4 hours, and then that time comes around, and you're like, oh, wow, we got to get into it, and then all of a sudden a mode switches, and you're just
It's like wait, and then it's go for and then that go lasts sometimes up to like 8-hour broadcasts.
Oh yeah,
today.
That is a major theme of broadcasting. It's something I've wanted to make a hat of or a T-shirt of. It's just hurry up and wait. It doesn't even have to say behind the broadcast on it. It just says hurry up and wait because that's what we do. Yeah. We hurry up and then we wait for production, for talent, for whatever it is.
You get out there and you're ready to go, and the faxes aren't ready to go.
Exactly.
Something happens. There's always something going on.
Yeah, you're waiting for the first person to tee off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's our job to always be ready. When for some reason everyone else can just slide by, and we are always the people that have to be ready to go at all times.
100%, yeah.
But because of that, we do get a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
So if you want to be on your phone during downtime and, scroll on Instagram or whatever, I really don't have any problem with it. Just don't let it be a distraction.
Yeah.
No.
Don't let it get in the way of your work.
Yeah. Like there was something today, like where I work early morning doing the golf shoot in the early morning. I have a utility though for later on in the afternoon. I texted him this morning, hey, don't just be sitting around. Go do something, make yourself useful, so that I don't, someone doesn't say, hey, you're
Yeah.
Do something, hang around, do something useful, and then we can go out and do our work. But
Totally.
you can't just be scrolling on Instagram, exactly like you said.
Yeah.
We don't want to be doing that in the compound, especially.
No. You always want to make yourself look busy. Really.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Even if you're not busy, make yourself look busy.
Yeah. There's always something to do.
No, that is a great point right there. All right, so you guys are my closest friends I have to the golf world, and you guys are really good camera operators. At a
pretty good.
At a very young age. I mean, prospectively, like you guys are really good at your guys' age. And so because of that, I want to talk to you guys about golf and being a camera operator in golf, because people ask me all the time in the DMs or just off to the side, they say, what is the hardest camera to operate? And it's probably camera 2 on hockey. But a close second is golf, because you're following a golf ball. You have to know how to frame shots. You have to know where to be. You have to know who to shoot without really any cues. It's really just like you have to know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
So kind of take me through how you guys learned those ways. Was it trial by fire or what?
Kind of. But, it all starts out as when I was still working as a utility out here at golf, and this all, once again, circles back to Max. I asked him, a utility back in the day. I was like, hey, Max, can I come up and practice on your camera, like during my lunch breaks and like in the mornings and stuff, like when we weren't on air? And he would, yeah, sure, of course. And he'd show me how to zoom, show me how to talk on, talk back and, use my returns and everything, and how to focus and how to frame up a follow. And then after that, it's just sitting there and doing it about 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Until you get the motion down, and then eventually you can kind of do it in your sleep. Like, and even if you lose a golf ball in the air, you're like, all right, well, I know it should be here, and then you go up and get it.
Go out, find it.
And then you go out and find it and zoom in on it, and then pull it back out and land it on the green.
That is hard.
So,
just the way you said it like that was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. And credit to Max, because he taught all three of us.
Yeah.
He started me off 100%. He was one of my main dudes coming out here to the game, but he also told me, get out of audio, get out of the other things, come out here and do it at camera. And he would take me every day to the back of the range and we'd follow 200 balls at a time.
Yeah, you take a handheld out, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And then he would go, because anybody could follow a golf ball. Like you turn your right settings up and you do your things in your camera if you know what you're doing. But he would run you through the menus. This kid knew every single page of a menu setting on a Sony camera. It was absurd.
Yeah.
Like 1 through 120. It could tell you every.
Yeah.
He was like, go to 64, do this. I was like, what?
And it comes through. Max was kind of brought up that way with Hitman and some other people.
Hitman's a big guy in all of our learning too.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like Hitman taught Max, and then once Max kind of like got busy or like we couldn't go on Max's camera, Hitman was always like, yeah, you can come up on my tower, like, and do some green coverage.
And most camera guys out here working golf are like that too. Like they're happy to help anybody learn. For the most part.
It depends. When you get to, it depends, and this is all sports. If you're a newer person and you're working, some guys feel like, hey, I might be training you to take my job, or I might be, just kind of like they're
that
older.
too. But I
and they
mean,
wanna
I would
do
say
this,
more so for like us, like we were already utilities for a long time, not somebody that just got brought in.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think what Yancey's getting at is that you have to pay your dues
Exactly.
before you can just think you're going to go to a camera operator and say, hey, can I come on your camera? Like, no, dude, you have to build rapport.
You can't be like, oh, my first day as a utility, I want to go learn how to run camera.
Right.
I mean, great thought process, like great initiative there, but I wouldn't say that's really how it works.
That's funny. My dad, he's one of the good camera operators out here, but before he got out here visiting as just a utility, he met Dog, one of our other high up camera guys. He walked right up to him and he goes, how do I get your job? I want your job. He goes, well, that's not a really good way to say it. You should probably like, can we do this? Can we go out here? Can we do this? It's like, he really, like, it's something you really loved. You want to do, like when you see it. It's like, but then you gotta put your work into it. You gotta do it. But when other guys hear it and they're like, oh, I want to do your job, it's like, well,
Totally.
Let's put some work
great
in first.
point, Yancey. And I'm glad you brought up Dog because I ran behind Dog for a full year. I was Doggy's guy for like a full year, and I learned so much. A full golf season, and I learned so much from Doggy.
Oh yeah.
And same goes for Gunner and Merle. They're all such good dudes, and they're willing to help you, but you have to pay your dues. And
100%.
You can't just go up there and be like, I'm ready to be a cameraman. Like, you have to study how they work because, again, like I said, golf is unlike any other sport where you have places to be at certain times. And if you're in the wrong place during those times,
you either don't have the shot or you get a really bad looking shot. I mean, I would
or you're
say
in someone's shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Screamed at. You never want that.
You never want to get screamed at. But like, I think running handheld, and I think you'd agree with me, Yancey, it's like a lot of it is just like positioning. Like you got to know where you have to be.
100%.
Yeah. Like, even if you don't know that, like you can't just walk out there and do it. It's like it's pretty nuanced, and like you have to be in certain spots at certain times to have the correct shot of what you want to see on a broadcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
Especially when there's so many cameras out there, like you never know where every angle is. You gotta know everything. It's kind of crazy.
That's the thing that people do not understand about handheld golf is, you have to be a good shooter, but a lot of times you're wide and you're just pulling focus and things like that. It's the mental game. And it's also the physical game.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk a little about the physical game, too, is like, how heavy are those cameras that are on your shoulder?
They're 37.5 pounds with everything put together on them. Right. Transmitter, battery, lens, everything. Yeah. So you're walking with that on your shoulder. If you're going a hole, you're going 400 yards average. You're doing all three shots. You're walking from tee to green. You're on your shoulder for about 20 minutes a hole before you put it on a tripod. You're really working out there.
Yeah, exactly. Tyler, Ryan does more handheld.
Yeah, Ryan does more handheld, but I've done it a few times. Like I do it for CBS here and there, and I've done it for NBC a couple times. But I don't know. I kind of like hard camera.
You're a hard camera guy, and there's nothing wrong with that, dude.
No. And that's what everyone likes to see. You like to see those big slow pushes on TV, like that are stable. You don't like to see the shaky around stuff, and that's cool. And everybody likes.
Well,
that.
I think, you can be like definitely artistic with your shots and things.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
For sure. I mean, and you can get a lot tighter on the golf ball when you're following it through the air for the most part, and you get that like in the tower behind the green, you get like that really nice artistic shot that I think kind of that you can kind of pull from the horizon down into the green and make like a really cool kind of cinematic
and that's
shot
what
with it.
Like to us like. Maybe the average viewer watching golf doesn't realize it, but like I think to us, like I think it's like makes our job that a little bit more different and keeps it interesting because we're not just following golf balls all day. But to the point of following golf balls, and you kind of talked about you can push in with the golf ball. Explain what you mean by you can push in, because a lot of people listening, they don't really understand that. Like they don't really even know what golf ball follow is.
Yeah, all right. So it basically starts like. I start my follow when that golfer is in his backswing. Like, as soon as I see that club go up in the air and just barely start to drop, I already start going up with the golf ball before he even makes contact just to catch it because it happens so fast.
Right.
And then once it's in the air, I zoom into that golf ball, as tight as I can, like to where it still looks good.
Yeah.
And then as it hits its apex and starts coming down, that's when I pull wide and then land it softly on the green.
Right.
So I mean that's kind of like the technique of like how you do it.
Yeah.
I kind of have a different perspective of finding it, you know, because like
Okay.
say like somebody's behind a tree, like
you're
deep
saying
in
if you
some
lose
bushes,
it?
deep
Yeah.
in some bushes, and you don't know what's happening, and our director will say like,
Backswing
"Hey, give us
ball
a,
out."
Yeah, give us a warning, backswing ball out, and you're real wide, and then all of a sudden you hear backswing ball out, and you see something coming over a tree, and you're like, oh, there it is, and you're like you're zapping into a star basically.
You just like you just attack the
Yes,
ball with your
that is
lens.
one of the
Yeah.
coolest things I've
Yeah.
ever felt.
It-
If you find
and-
it, you're like, there it is.
Yeah,
And
not
you
to
follow
mention
that.
like the most satisfying thing when you're like completely blind and then you're just like aiming above trees.
And you're waiting for the director to cut to the next cut. You're like,
Yeah.
you're like ready 12. He's like, you're waiting for you to find it in the screen, and
Yeah.
you find it. And he's like, there it is. All right, take like
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah,
one
it's
of
the best feeling
coolest
too when like the
fucking cool.
director's like,
That's awesome.
all right, he's got to take 5 or like
Yes,
whatever hole you're on, you know, and you're like, yeah, I kind of crushed it right there.
Yeah,
I got it.
and,
Yeah.
and that's
That's cool.
usually when you get the most props too, because the director, to begin with, he's not expecting you to find that ball, but
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you do find that ball, he's like, "Oh, great job!" You know, that's
That's
when
what he
Yeah.
said. He's like, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
got it.
And then you see where it lands, and you can kind of tell a story from there. Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Oh no, definitely.
I
is.
honestly
It's-
don't
it's-
think I
it's-
can tell you about that feeling, but
Yeah.
you guys definitely can.
That's like
No,
your only
it's
job.
it's super satisfying.
Yes.
Like, because you're not going to get those 100% of the time. Like,
Yeah.
maybe even not. Like, if it's completely blind, maybe not even 50% of the time.
Yeah.
But the times you do get it, it's oh my god,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's
awesome.
good. It's good.
That's the only thing you're doing. Like you're bringing it in. Like that's your thing. You find it. That's sick. Like that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Killing
That's awesome. I'm glad we touched on that. All right, so let's talk about a little bit about you're covering a green, right? And you've got 3 golfers around the green, and they're all looking to putt and things like that. How are you going about that situation?
Well, I mean, just how golf works. I mean, it's the guy furthest from the hole that's gonna go, and then you just frame it up for that for the most part.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, sometimes weird things happen where like some guy could be on the putting surface, and then some guy could be like 90 feet away from the hole, but then some guy could be in the rough, 30 feet from the hole,
Uh-huh.
and that guy in the rough's gonna go first, even though like he's like
Right.
like kind of.
The biggest thing that people like you realize in our industry is you're looking through a viewfinder.
Yes.
You're always keeping your head outside of a viewfinder.
I'm
If
glad
you're
you said that, because I
working
was
on
going to try and
golf.
get you to say it, but I'm glad you said that,
Yes,
Yancey.
yes.
Talk a little bit about working outside your viewfinder.
You're always there's always someone that looks like they're ready to go. You're always on that person, or maybe a little bit wide, but I'm 90% of the time my head is over here, and I'll be looking like side eyeing my viewfinder, you know.
Yeah.
But if in 90% of the time I'm wrong because the other person's gonna go, but it's always living outside the viewfinder, especially when they're far, far away.
Yes.
Never who's going first. You're always looking around. But if you live outside of your viewfinder, you can. That's when you're key because you'll find it before the director finds it. Like, who's next? That guy's next. You know. Like,
Yeah,
that's where it
exactly.
comes into play. Like,
And,
that's easy.
and that is what makes, I think, a novice camera operator in golf to an experienced camera operator in golf is that they can look outside their viewfinder. And
Yeah.
They know where they're shooting without.
Exactly. I know where I am, but I'm looking at other
And
places.
also, like, we kind of all help each other out there, too, because, like, me being in a tower behind the green, and then, like, say, like, Yancey being behind a golfer in the fairway, even happened today. Like, it looks like this guy out there is closer, and Yancey's behind this guy, but there's some guy in the shit in the woods, like, way over there.
And I'm
and,
pointing.
and I'm looking at Yancey thinking it's him because he's standing behind a golfer.
Yeah.
And first thing he does, because he can see that I'm looking at him,
Yeah.
I don't know how. From
I'm looking at you.
From,
I can
from
tell you're
250
looking
yards
right at
away.
me.
Yeah.
And then he just starts going like this, and I'm like, oh, I guess it's the other golfer going
See,
first.
that's the shit
So like
I'm talking
like,
about.
like we all
Yes,
help
yeah.
each other out there too.
That's the shit I'm talking about. And so that's why golf is so close knit, is because everyone has to trust each other in one way or another.
Like everybody has to do their job for
Yes.
it to look good.
Yeah.
Like
And all
specifically in green coverage with you, I know that you've got a putt, and as soon as he makes that putt, I have the tight face, and I
Yeah.
know that's coming to me. Like it's all of a working family. Like we all know what we're doing specifically.
Yeah.
and we all know each other what we're doing. So I know what he's doing. He knows what I'm doing. Like
Yeah, it
really
becomes a
works.
routine, and then that's how it
Exactly.
looks good.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
it becomes a routine, exactly. And then the director knows where to cut, when to cut. He doesn't even have to tell you, Yancey tight, Yancey tight.
Oh,
Like,
you don't even.
you're
I'm already
on it.
there. Exactly.
You're already
yes,
on it. Yeah. And that takes so much stress off of a director, because the director is like, oh, I don't have to worry about their framing. They know their framing. They know their shot.
They're worried about
I
where
just have
they're
to
going.
cut cameras at this
Exactly.
point.
Yes. They're worried about where they're going next. Like we
Yeah.
got it. You know.
Yeah. So let's say there's a golfer on the green, and maybe he's 20 feet from the flag, from the hole. Are you keeping the golfer in the hole in the frame, or are you going with the ball? How does that work?
So it really depends. Like most of the time, because there's a lot of times in coverage where if you're working a tower on a green, you don't have any handhelds there because you only have so many handhelds out there. They're not with every group.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would say it's kind of dependent. Like so if they're 20 feet away and you don't have a handheld with you on your green to cut a reaction, you just stay wide so you can have their reaction in shot. But then if you have a handheld there to get a reaction, you go tight with the ball to the hole.
Right.
Yeah. So it's dependent. Like it's situationally dependent.
What if the golfer's too far?
I was gonna say I've kind of got a
like
different
60-foot putt.
opinion
Yeah, like
about that
60-foot
as well.
putt. So like if it's that far, like I'll end up going with it for the most part.
Yeah, and then coming back.
Yeah,
for the react.
and then I'll come back to that if they make for a react.
Yeah.
If they don't make and it's still close, I'll stay on the ball and then slowly widen for a tap in.
Yeah.
So they come up and tap it in.
Or I had one.
Pro.
Yeah, like I had one today. Obviously, like, someone was too. Like I had two of them. Someone was too far outside the frame where it looks kind of gnarly. Where like you're a little bit too far. Like I'm gonna push in all the way and take the ball.
Yeah.
Come back to you. But then if someone comes in just even 10 feet closer, you can keep everything in frame and it looks nice, and they can putt the ball. And they miss, they're still coming into frame and it looks nice. And if they make it, then you have the quick reaction. They're already there. You don't have to push with the ball. But
Yeah.
sometimes, yes, you have to judge if it gets out of frame, if it gets too far a distance.
Yeah.
But it's always within 5-10 feet. It's always
Yeah.
a close thing.
Yeah, or like chips off the green when you kind of have to follow it almost like a regular shot when you can't have them like
Yes.
and them and the flag
I'm almost
in the
always
shot,
trying to
you know?
chip off the green.
Yeah, and then you just take them with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you close afterwards, ball and hold to green or
Yeah.
to flag.
Yeah. No, dude. There's a reason why you guys are hired for the NBC main show. You guys know what you're talking about. You guys have paid your dues. You guys have been runners, utilities. You learn from the best, and it's showing now. All right. That was another great beer break, boy. Yancey.
Sponsored by Garage Beer.
She said that.
Oh, long time Packers fan. It came out of the back.
Oh my God, this is a great segue into our next segment, and it's going to be called This or That. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to give you guys two different things, either this or that, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. All right, so do you like undertime or overtime?
It depends where we're working.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good question. In Hawaii, undertime every single day.
That was a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, if we're in, I don't know, maybe Tulsa, Oklahoma, I'll take the overtime.
I'll take the
for
overtime
sure.
every day, yeah.
Yeah. Are we in Newark? Yeah. Overtime.
overtime. All right.
Depends on the place, yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. All right, healthy crafty or unhealthy crafty? What are you putting in your bodies on a day to day?
Oof. See,
Man, that's a tough one, really.
I want to try the healthy crafty, but I'm always on the unhealthy crafty.
Where are they keeping this healthy crafty?
Yeah, where is the healthy crafty? I don't think I've ever seen one.
No, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, I honestly, I guess go unhealthy because I feel like I'm gonna eat more of it. That way. I'll be more full, like for being out there for so long.
What about like restaurants? Are you guys like eating fast food when you're on the road all day? Or are you guys gonna try and get like, maybe a little bit healthier, like Smoothie King or tropical smoothie? I know you guys love.
Yeah, well, you got to switch it up. You got to do like maybe like a healthy lunch, and then maybe you splurge a little bit on dinner.
Tyler, your diet is chicken tenders.
I was saying, unless you're like one of these guys.
Yeah,
that
but
orders
I'd be
room service to
ripping
his room every
smoothies
night.
for lunch and stuff like that.
absurd.
Like I love me some broccoli. Like it's not all
yeah,
bad.
Some broccoli.
Sometimes you gotta get a Reggie.
What about you, Yancey? What's your go-to to eat on the road?
On the road, if I'm not going out and I'm ordering into the room just real quick after work, it's got to be Chipotle.
Chipotle's good.
Or
because-
some cheese curds from Culver's.
Ooh, if the city's got Culver's, I'm getting cheese. Best believe that.
True Wisconsin.
Let's go.
That's funny. All right, next one: handheld or hard camera?
Handle for me. I want to be in their face. I want to do the time. I want to be that guy.
You want to be up there in the
Yeah,
action.
it kills
I am
time.
the same
Yeah,
way.
that's
I'm
great.
like, put me in the action. That's
Yeah,
super fun.
100%.
I like hard cam because like you always got shade. You're never like if it's raining, you never got that. But if I could, I would go like hard cam one week, handheld the next week because like it gets boring sitting up there by yourself sometimes too.
Yeah.
Like it'd be nice to move around with the action.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's good to change it up. Your brother does a really good job of that. Where one day, so Joe is the director, and Joe will be like, "All right, Ryan, you're on Rat this week. next week you're on hard camera, next week you're running on a handheld.
Yeah.
So
Just changing it up every week, pretty
Ryan
much.
probably enjoys this job more than all of us.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or probably hates it more. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he never is able to get into a rhythm, but
Yeah,
I mean, he does a pretty good job out there. So I mean,
He does.
He does.
He
Yeah.
does a good job.
No, he does. All right. That's our segment of this or that. And it kind of wraps the show, guys. So I love this conversation. It was awesome. We talked golf. We talked kind of like what it took to get in the industry. We talked about, learning from the pros. Shout out to the guys that taught all of us, like Dog and Gunner and Merle and Hitman and Joe and who else?
Max, everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
Max.
Jay-Z, one of our guys over at CBS, taught me
Jay-Z.
everything I know.
yeah, I mean, just pull the crew sheet. Really, I mean, I've
Yeah.
learned something from everybody out here. It feels
Yeah.
like.
Everybody wants to help out.
And that's a huge credit to this crew, man. They're really good people. The people on the P-Gate show are really good people, and they're going to help you if you show initiative, if you show you want to be out there, and if you put in the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
If you show you want to do something out here, any sport, not even golf, you show you want to do something,
Yeah.
somebody will take an interest in it.
Exactly.
100%.
All right, guys, that's our show. But before we go, I want to thank our sponsors. So all of the graphics you saw today are powered by VizRT. VizRT, take your production to the next level with the right tools. TVU, elevate every stage of your media supply chain. Holly Video, specializing in remote solutions and live stream kits. And last but not least, Garage Beer.
Garage beer.
Garage beer. It's beer, flavored beer. And to end the show, we're going to invite our camera operator,
Stage
utility,
manager, researcher. This
Matt.
guy just came off the field. Welcome, Matt Burrow.
Hey, welcome to the show, Matt Burrow. And to end the show, we're going to do a shotgun for Max. Shotgun sponsored by Garage Beer. We appreciate you, Max.
Sponsored by Garage Beer.
We appreciate, what you taught us. We appreciate you bringing us all together, and I especially appreciate you helping me come up with Behind the Broadcast, because without you, certainly wouldn't have
Miss you every day, bro.
So, give me a pop one for me.
Got you, baby. I'll cover us all.
That was a good one, dude. You're good at shot. You're good at
what the hell?
doing these.
Rotation.
All right. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Thanks, Max.
Max.
Cheers, Max.
Cheers.
Fuck, I missed it.
Top quality stuff.
I really messed that up.
Garage Beer.